Well, from entire villages washed out to families still searching for loved ones, the true toll of the remnants of Typhoon Halong coming into focus. And our team has been tracking the impacts in the wake of the storm. But we're going to start with breaking news. Hundreds of evacuees have arrived in Anchorage and are currently at the Alaska Airlines Center UAA campus. And there with them is Alaska Governor Mike Dunleavy. Governor, we really appreciate you taking some time and being with us here tonight. I know you may not be able to answer all of our questions. We're going to start, if you could just set the scene for us. What's happening now at the Alaska Airlines Center? What are you seeing? What are you hearing there?
Just to be respectful of them.
So the first plane load of folks coming in from the affected areas has landed in Anchorage, and we're transported here to the Alaska Airlines Center. There's been a great setup put together here by the Red Cross, the University of Alaska, our health consortiums, National Guard, you name it, the list goes on. And so a large number of folks are now in the center right now. There's beds, there's cots, there's food for them, there's medical attention as well. And so this is one of the first planes that has arrived, and we're anticipating more planes tomorrow. This may end up being one of the largest airlifts of Alaskans in the history of the state due to a disaster.
Yeah, we heard reports that may be the case. Could you talk more about that, like what this airlift looks like and the magnitude of it?
Well, obviously, the devastation out in the Delta was extreme in some of the villages, especially villages like Quig and Kipnuk, where when we had Typhoon Merbok, it spread over about a 800-mile area from the Kuskokwim Delta all the way up almost to the Northwest Arctic. This was more localized in the Delta, and as a result, a lot of that impact is felt in that area. But as you've noted, a lot of houses were taken off their foundations. A lot of houses are floating down the river with people in them. The scene that was described to me was almost something out of a war zone, to be honest with you. And we'll be going out there on Friday, a number of us, to actually do an on-the-ground assessment with the emergency services folks to see what condition these villages are in, what condition the houses are in, the infrastructure, to really get an idea as to when and how we're going to be able to get these villages back up on their feet. But we're anticipating upwards of 1,400 people, I think is the number, coming in tonight, tomorrow. And I just want to thank the city of Bethel, the authorities in Bethel, the leaders, the leadership in the villages, as well as here in Anchorage, the mayor, city of Anchorage, for opening up their arms and bringing fellow Alaskans in their time of need. I think it's a great thing. It's a great thing that tells a lot about Alaska, but a lot of tough people here. Some of the most resilient people on the face of the earth are fellow Alaskans from rural Alaska, and we just hope to get them back up on their feet as soon as possible.
No, without a doubt. Incredible people, strong people. Have you spoken with anyone tonight? Have you heard any of the stories?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, these folks, this is traumatic. Folks are coming in here with just clothes on their back in some cases, a bag or two. But no, this is a difficult situation. Again, very tough people. Our fellow Alaskans in rural Alaska, as all of Alaska, we deal with these disasters, but this is unlike something these folks have seen, and I think unlike something we've seen in some time, where whole villages, in many cases, are left in such a state that you may not be able to go back to them for some time. And so, again, we'll get that assessment on Friday. And just a side note, I've been in communication with the President of the United States tonight. We've been texting back and forth, and he has assured me that the federal government's going to be there to help, and we'll be assessing him tomorrow, and when we go out to the villages on Friday, we'll give them a full assessment personally as to what condition these villages are in and what help we need.
Thank you, Governor. Yeah, I was going to ask you if you had spoken to the president, so you've been in contact. I imagine he's offering some nice words as well.
He is, and the last text I had with him was after 9 o'clock our time, so if he's on the East Coast, I'm not sure where he's at. I didn't ask him. He's up at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and he's very concerned about Alaska and wanted me to relay to the people of Alaska that they're following this, they're watching this, and that the federal government is going to be there to help.
Okay. Well, good. I'm glad you mentioned that as well. With the ongoing federal government shutdown, so people are just curious if that might impact the ability to get a timely response or funding from FEMA. Do you know if that'll affect things?
Well, you got to remember that the Coast Guard, for example, as well as our National Guard, but the Coast Guard was active throughout this typhoon, was rescuing people off of their homes, out of the villages, and so when it comes to these emergency services, we're going to keep working. My feel is the federal government's going to keep working through these emergencies. And so, again, we're all pulling together. And, you know, this has been a tragic event. There has been loss of life. Obviously, it could have been a lot worse, but I want to thank our emergency responders. I want to thank our Coast Guard, our military, everyone involved in this. It's all hands on deck. And right now, I could be prouder of Alaska. And the people out in rural Alaska, they just need to know that we're going to do everything we can to get them back up on their feet as soon as possible.
Yeah, no, we appreciate that. And I think finally, you know, you had mentioned Typhoon Merbok, and that was more than 3 years ago. Do you think we were prepared for this event?
Well, I mean, you know, it's a rare event to have, quote, a typhoon hit Alaska. Earthquakes, fires, high winds, tsunamis, so, you know, that's something, volcanoes, that's something we deal with here all the time. This may, in fact, be a new addition to our disaster menu. I hate to say it that way, but again, we have a lot of experience with disasters, unfortunately, but we have a lot of emergency responders that know how to deal with these types of disasters. Just in my tenure here, the past 7 years, we walked in on an earthquake, one of the largest earthquakes. Yeah. There's been COVID, fires, floods, you name it, and it's just part of living in the last frontier. And I don't want to say it in a flippant manner. It's just we have to deal with these things. We're pretty resilient people. We've got the emergency services that have been trained to deal with these things, but nonetheless, when it does happen, it is traumatic, and it's our job as public officials to do everything we can to get things back to where they were and get people back into their homes.
I hate to ask this question because I know it's still very early in the process, but any kind of a timeline for damage assessment or rebuilding?
Well, we got some of the airports up and running. So once again, we're going out there on Friday. We'll be flying out there. We'll also be out there in a helicopter. We'll be doing an assessment, preliminary assessment. You know, we're unfortunately, these typhoons seem to hit Alaska right before freeze-up. So we don't have much of a time to transition, but nonetheless, we're going to assess this on Friday. We'll have discussions. First priority is making sure people have a roof over their head, they have food, they have a place to sleep, and try and get their lives back to as normal as possible. When they can go back to the villages, when the homes will be, you know, be able to be inhabited again, we don't know that until we do the assessment and then have a discussion as to what we saw out there and what resources we have to get those villages back up on their feet. So it's going to take a little bit of time, but we hope to move as quickly as possible.
Thank you, Governor. We appreciate your time tonight. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the state of Alaska, to the people, before we let you go?
Again, I'm just very proud of the people of the state of Alaska. My heart goes out to the people that are being evacuated, the people that have been impacted by these storms. But Alaskans are tough people. People in rural Alaska are tough people. I mean, they deal with a lot. And to see those folks come here to Anchorage, to have Anchorage and Bethel open up their doors for our fellow Alaskans has been really, for me, quite an experience. And I just want to thank all Alaskans, all emergency responders. I want to thank our military. And again, our federal government is, through the president himself, said they're going to help. So could have been a lot worse for a lot more people. It's still devastating, especially for the folks that we lost and the folks that lost homes and their possessions. But nonetheless, we're going to do everything we can to get people back to where they were and get life back to normal as soon as possible.
Governor Mike Dunleavy, we sincerely appreciate you and taking a few minutes with us tonight. Thank you.